May I just ask a question? And with respect, is there any, under any conditions, could you see yourself voting yes for selling Cedar Haven?
I would reverse the question. Are there any conditions that you would save Cedar Haven?
Yeah, if it were solvent.
Okay.
And if the pension were satisfied and the capital, that would be, you'd have to have the whole package, not just carving out the, and I really don't want to necessarily be part of decimating, of us operating. Obviously, under our watch, it has become, 53 people overstaffed. So that's why I don't think we're the best people to be running it. I'd rather have a professional vendor in that does this for a living and to run Cedar Haven and be under the same guidelines of the Department of Health and so on.
It's a wonderful place to be, and I think we all admit that. But I think we also have to admit that it's been run the way government runs entities like this. It's top-heavy, overpopulated with employees, overpaid employees, overcompensated employees, and that's just the way government does things, and we're a government.
But isn't that part of what this whole process has been about, is to how to right the situation so that we can save Cedar Haven and keep it local? Isn't that what this whole process is about?
I'm not sure that it was about that or not. We've given it that opportunity, and I'm not convinced by the results of this study that the county is the one that should be running it.
But
in fact,
the point is
it tells me that it shouldn't be.
But there's an operation that, a proposal that says they would come in and help us operate it and make all these adjustments if the union is amenable.
But Joel, it still doesn't get you there. You still, as I said, if you went back 10 years ago or 11 years ago when the first $500,000 deficit showed up and said, gee, I want to save this can't go on. But no, you didn't do that back then, and here we are.
No, wait, I want to defend that first of all. First of all, I consistently asked to put that money there, and it didn't happen. And second of all, when the market turned down, and to their credit, at that point, had we put all that money into the pension fund, we could have been in a worse situation because there was a drop in the stock market very significantly. But when the stock market corrected, we should have started putting that money in again, and it didn't happen. And so at that point, so initially I understood the thought process, but that turned and changed. And so, but I kept trying to get the money put in.
Thank you. I'm talking, let's leave it at that.
Okay.
I was talking about the study that shows the overstaffing and so on. That could have been called for 10 years ago, and then we would have had a shot at it.
Had we had one of these studies, yes.
Yeah. Okay. But, so I answered your question, which you turned back to me. Are there any situations under which...
I didn't hear your answer. How...
I said if they could satisfy the pension, the capital needs, and the...
But just a couple weeks ago, you said if they could save $5 million, then you would consider changing your mind. Is that off the table?
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay.
Because it was new at that time. I hadn't heard it at the beginning, but then I heard it a few weeks later.
I can't imagine that I would just forget about the pensioners. That's been an important part of this thing.
Yeah.
And then they also brought up the capital requirements for the building. So I would, if I did, it was an inadvertent comment.
I know it's just semantics, but I think we have to distinguish between your expression, save Cedar Haven, and have Cedar Haven continue and exist. Tell me what the expression save Cedar Haven means to you.
Keep it local.
You mean allow the county to continue to run it? Okay. That's, to me, save Cedar Haven means that Cedar Haven will continue as a first-class facility that will continue to meet the needs of the people in our county. And I think the best way to do that is outside of county ownership. That's my
and that's where our philosophies disagree, I believe.
So your answer is no, you would not be able to vote yes?
I am waiting to hear. I don't want to make any decision until I hear from the union.
Okay. So that would be a maybe.
I'm waiting to hear. At this point, I am not convinced it's the right thing to do, and I would need to hear their rationale. I don't know until I hear a response.
Because we thought the study would get you there, but, okay. We'll give
Because
another
I've
7
seen,
days.
I mean, they've exceeded my expectations. For the first year, I was looking to save $1.5 million, and then the next year, and they were going to do that within their first year of operation.
And I know we need to go, but can you just remind us that next year we need to, the actuary is telling us, the auditors are telling us that we need to have that line item on our budget, or
Bob can do it as well, but as I understand it, the ARC can't just be set aside and be, known to be due. It's going to be on the bottom line.
And I've been asking that to have it on the books all this time,
Well,
too.
it will be under the new
Well,
accounting.
if we'd have had it put on the books all this time, we wouldn't have ever had a balanced budget. for the
But
last
then
10
we
years.
would have addressed it. That's the whole point. Before, it was being put off because it wasn't on the books. And I've asked to break it down by department and have it part of their budgets, and it
But where would the
hasn't
money
been
have
done.
come from?
We would have had to address it then. Now we're going to have to address it. It's just addressing it at a later time at a higher amount. We're still going to have to address it.
And I think you also take into account, Cedar Haven's important, it's important to everyone, but how important are some of the other endeavors that we're not only mandated to do, but I think as a board would like to do, and that we're not going to be in a favorable position to borrow money and do some of those things that need to be done, where the sale of Cedar Haven would change that picture dramatically for this board and for the residents of the county. So I think you need to look at the overall picture. Don't look at Cedar Haven with blinders on and say passionately that this is something that we need to save.
Yeah, again, I cannot emphasize enough. First of all, it's the people that we're protecting, because if the Cedar Haven is sold, it doesn't mean the purchaser is going to keep it. The beds could be pooled with other purchases they make and sold to another entity.
No, we've gone through that, and I think that was clarified, Commissioner. You were told that the beds could not leave the county.
No,
You were
that's
told
not
that.
true.
It
At
is true.
at CCAP, they said they can be sold within 60 miles. There was a county there that did it.
Okay. That's not what we were told.
Well,
We
that's
asked
what
that question
that was
specifically.
reality, because that happened.
Well, and we also have the favor of writing the agreement.
we have that. But also, we have the hundreds of homeowners that came to a reassessment hearing saying if our taxes go up anymore, we're losing our home. And so we have 130,000 people out there, and these are for 300 residents, that if we triple or whatever their taxes, we're going to put them out of their homes. Those are the trade-offs of what you're suggesting we do. And so that's why I'm not, again, willing to, I'm looking at the whole county and trying to do the best for the majority. Okay.
All right. I guess we have a week then.
Okay.
Thank you.